Good morning, everyone. How you doing? Are you doing all right? I'm going to try to look at this topic in kind of a humorous situation. But before I go into that, first things first, my little turkey's doing okay. Got a little cold last night, but I kind of rearranged everything at like 3:30 this morning. I went up to check on it and it's doing great. Um, I'm going to be changing the turkey's name. They named it Manhattan. And I promised the little girl that brought it, I said, I promise I will not eat your Manhattan. I said, I'm not going to eat your turkey. I guess when her mother said, well, I've got a place for your turkey to go. And this turkey is really bonded with this little girl. I mean, they're like peas and carrots, right? Um, I looked at her and I said, listen, I'm not going to eat your turkey. Well, when she handed me the turkey, I just started loving on her. I mean, I just pulled her close and just started loving on her. And her mom looked at her and said, I think she's in the right spot. And her daughter just kind of looked at me. I said, I'm not going to eat your Manhattan because that's what they named her. Him, it, whatever. We'll figure it out. I don't have much experience at all with turkeys. I've never had turkeys. I did work at a turkey processing plant for a day and a half before another job came in. That was horrible. Yeah, uh, that was horrible. But anyway, um, I promised her I wouldn't eat her turkey, and the turkey is doing okay. It's a little lonely. It's used to being coddled. It's used to being in the house where everybody's bustling around it, and now it's in the brooder barn with a bunch of little chicks. And so I had to drop its heat lamp. I'm trying to say it's a girl. I hope it's a girl. Oh my gosh, I hope it's a girl. And if it's a girl, then maybe we'll find a Prince Charming. Or if it's a boy, maybe we'll find Cinderella. You know, you can see where I'm going with this, right? Okay. Anyway, doing fine. Not as fine as it would like to be doing, but it's good. Um, Solomon has really picked up his eating. I changed the dog food that I'm feeding him. His dry dog food, he really doesn't care about. But I did buy the Great Danes pedigree because they just absolutely cannot do the Beneful. They just weren't. Um, and Onyx being autistic, um, that changed her. And plus, I think she might have had an allergic reaction to it. Seriously. So I'm feeding him off the pedigree and some of the Beneful. I haven't gotten into the salmon Beneful because we know he likes that. So I'm leaving that one closed. I'm feeding off the other two with him. But what I'm doing is gently cooking ground beef with eggs and that rice that I cooked with all of that fat and everything. He'll get one more meal of that tonight. But the ground beef and the eggs, he's really eating, and he's eating it twice a day. I can't tell if he's gaining any weight, but I know he's eating it. And that's something different than what we have been going through with him. So, thumbs up on Solomon's intake. So, his vet will be here the 8th, which is what, 2 days from now. He'll get all of his shots, he'll get all of his vaccinations, and hopefully, we'll get a prescription for an internal um, parasitic thing. So, hopefully, we'll get that done for him. As soon as we get that done, then I'll be calling his groomer and setting up an appointment for her to come and do just a total groom on him. Of course, I need to brush him out. I was pulling puff off of him today, and it's time for me to go in and give him a good brush. And I do have some more of that drops for him. So I'm going to go up and brush him later on this afternoon. Before I turn him out, I'm going to brush him really, really well and put those drops on him so that way, that's done. Okay, I don't even know how to start this topic. and I do this every time because I really don't. Um, right before I came out here, I had been hearing something and I kind of sat down and listened to it. And I'm kind of curious on um, how MAGA is going to take this. Paying immigrants to deport $1,000. Each immigrant that comes and self deports can get $1,000. Are y'all okay with that? I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Is it okay for that? But here's my thing. I think it is a trap. Years and years ago, there was a show and they had a sting operation. It was like some sort of like you won something and these notices were sent out that you've won something, and these people would come in and they would be criminals and they would arrest them there. And that's kind of like one thing that I think they might be doing is it's a sting operation, if that's true. Or they get everybody to port without giving them their $1,000 and then pull the rug out and say, we're not going to give you $1,000. What do you think? I mean, I heard that. I was like, well, won't MAGA be mad that these people would be making money being paid off? I mean, we're going to have $100 million parade here not too long in, what is it, July? June or July? What is it, $96 million for a parade? Anyway, we'll get to that. So, what do you think about this paying $1,000 to these immigrants? It's either a sting operation or they're going to pull the money out from under them. There's no way they're going to give it. I just can't see that. Because I think the MAGA supporters would absolutely go ape snot over that. But anyway, I want to kind of do this humorously, but let's try it. Okay, so Elon Musk went in to our everything in the government as Doge and started cutting programs, started doing this, started doing that. But here's what he truly was in there for, is to stop the investigations on his companies, SpaceX being one of them, because SpaceX was becoming a danger to the public by exploding above in the air. They weren't saying what they were doing, and these spaceships were exploding and debris was falling, and so they did an investigation. Well, that investigation was stopped as soon as Doge came in with Elon Musk. So what Elon did was wipe out all of the investigations that were public safety hazards, and he's pretty much done that, right? He's got more contracts. He doesn't have competition with contracts in the government, as well as all of those investigations were null and void, right? So to me, that is fraud. To me, that is a fraud. So there's one thing that I don't think MAGA supporters know, because I don't think Fox News or any of these influencers that talk about the greatness of Trump and the administration say. So, you know, there you go. So let's talk about the fraud, waste, and abuse of our tax money, according to the Doge and Trump. So federal spending has gone up more now than before. Okay, we've spent millions of dollars on things that we never spent them on before. Okay, the regime is asking for more money through Congress, and they're all for it. So there's really an open wallet, we'll say, for Donald Trump and his regime, and they're just racking it up. Okay? They're racking it up. But they're telling you that they're looking for fraud, waste, and abuse. I have yet seen any proof of fraud, because fraud should bring up criminal charges, so on and so forth. So, with this being said, we know that Congress okayed all of the spending that they're cutting, that they're calling fraud, waste, and abuse. Period. Now, my question is feeding starving children here and abroad waste? Is that wasteful? Well, I can tell you what is waste: $100 million parade. That's wasteful. Is Meals on Wheels and food pantries that feed hungry people a waste? Well, let's see here. How about what we spend sending Trump to Mar-a-Lago every weekend and paying for his Secret Service for them to stay and eat at Mar-a-Lago? So he's making money off of going there, plus he's causing the taxpayers' money to be spent going there. So for him, it's like, okay, so the taxpayers are going to pay for my golfing trip to Mar-a-Lago every weekend. They're going to pay for the Secret Service to stay at Mar-a-Lago and eat, which actually is the government paying Trump for that. Okay. Okay. All right. All right. I mean, what do you think? You think feeding starving people, or $100 million for a parade? Which one would be wasteful? I know which one I would prefer my money to go to. But anyway, let's keep going. Reopening Alcatraz. That's a crazy idea. It's been closed since 1963. It is a museum at this point, and to revamp it would be an ungodly amount of money. Is it worth it? Is it because we're finding out that we're going to need more room in prisons for people who disagree with our leader? If he's wanting to put the most worst criminals there, or send them to other prisons like in El Salvador or Venezuela, then that's going to leave room in our prisons around the states for people who protest or go against our criminal king. Media, writers. I mean, that's what I think. So, Alcatraz, really? I think that's a waste. Let's see here. How about, what are some of these? Oh, preventing diseases here and abroad, or abroad from coming here. Preventing diseases. Is that wasteful? Hmm. I just don't see that as being a waste. Okay. And firing employees and then having to rehire them. That was wasteful. Now, what is the fraud? The fraud is that Donald Trump is taking money, making money, and accumulating money to make more money. His sons are doing the exact same thing. Here's where MAGA needs to open their eyes. You have the wool pulled over your eyes so far that you cannot see that it is only the wealthy that is going to benefit from anything being done right now. That's it. You know, I keep thinking about the two doll thing, two doll Dawn two doll, however you want to put it. You know, families save all year to buy Christmas or birthday gifts for their children. For the most part, the people who are struggling the most make certain that there's clothing or pajamas and underpants and socks and shoes for Christmas. And a toy is normally the last piece of their Christmas. And he's so condescending. Well, little girls should only have 2 dolls instead of 30. And then he's made other remarks very similar with different numbers, so on and so forth. Who the hell is he to talk like that? How many dolls did Ivanka have? I mean, come on. I really wish that you all would see just how corrupt this man is. He is the fraud. He is frauding you. So when they talk about waste, fraud, and abuse, he is abusing the taxpayer money. He is using fraudulent means to make more money from your money. The waste is just something that he decides is a waste. He decides who is a criminal because he's not giving them due process. He wants $100 million parade. MAGA, you need to wake up. You need to figure this out. We did not have to go through this economically, and I don't care who says it or how they say it or how they try to make it sound. Our country did not have to go through this. If there were problems, you addressed one problem at a time. You don't go in and say that it's this while you're cutting that and you're stopping investigations over your biggest campaign donors. Good luck if you can buy one doll this year, or clothing, pajamas for Christmas or a birthday. Good luck. But what I have to say to MAGA is the inhumanity of taking away food to save lives. I mean, there's kids dying right now. Gaza is an absolute wreck. Israel can do whatever the heck they want to do, and it's wrong. And it's wrong. And Trump wanted Gaza. He still may want Gaza, but right now he's getting ready to build in Dubai, Saudi Arabia, and there's another country where he's getting ready to build something to make money. And he's using the presidency and your taxpayer money to do those things. And that's all I'm going to say. Y'all have a great day. Hugs from a distance. I need to get some work done. Bye, y'all.